Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today, I know it's pretty freaky. I'm looking at another M1911. Now, as you know, I am not the biggest fan of 1911s, but I know a lot of you are. And one of the companies who I've done a lot of reviews on their products is American Tactical. American Tactical does a lot of different types of firearms. They import some, they manufacture some in-house. This particular pistol is manufactured in the Philippines. It's the American Tactical M19 Military. Now, this is basically an exact copy of the GI M1911A1. If you look at all the details on it, you have the mainspring housing, you have the spur and the hammer, the sights. This is an M1911A1 type pistol. Now, for those of you who are looking to get into the shooting market, American Tactical, one of their biggest mandates is they like to manufacture pistols that are affordable. So, you know, say you don't make a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money to spend, you're still going to be able to get into the sport and still be able to shoot. Now, any of you guys who are 1911s know that 1911s can go anywhere from probably $800 to $3,000. One of those things that I still don't figure out myself why this pistol costs that much money. $3,000 for one of these things. But, you know, it goes without saying, you know, a lot of people really love them. They'll spend that kind of money on them. But those of us who, you know, you like a 1911, but you don't want to spend that kind of money, American Tactical's pistol, this is a pretty impressive pistol. This is a $400 pistol. If you were somebody who wanted to start off in shooting and you wanted a 1911, but you wanted a basic building block, this pistol you could buy for $400, and then as you came up with money, you would be able to change out your mainspring housing. You'd be able to change out your trigger group. You'd be able to change out your hammer. You'd be able to put on a more of a spur type hammer that was more comfortable than this. You can change out the barrel. You can put a match barrel or a barrel bushing. You could take it to a gunsmith. You could have the slides tuned, and you could turn this thing into a race gun with very little effort. As it's set up now, it's set up as a basic combat gun. You know, it's got some play in it, not much. This is actually very well. In fact, if you compare it even to my Colt, you can hear it rattle. This one, you don't hear nothing. So, you know, these are different. These are designed basically as combat pistols and as starter type weapons. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing apart and we're going to take a look at it. Now, again, $400, you don't expect to see the same kind of quality that you would, you know, on an $800 Colt. However, I have to say that the quality on this thing is very, very impressive. The machining is very impressive. I've had this pistol for a while. I'll probably say maybe a year. And I've got, I wouldn't say 1,000, but not too far off. It's been shot quite a bit over the last year. My son's getting into some of the World War II type guns, and he enjoys some of the World War II stuff, so he's even shot this thing a few times. Because, his Call of Duty World War II, you see some of these things. So this pistol's been shot quite a bit. And I have to say I've never had any malfunctions with it of any sort. Its accuracy is what you would expect out of a combat pistol. You know, you don't have match sights on here. You have combat sights on here. Shot very, very acceptable. One of the biggest problems I have with the M1911 is my hand. The way that this fits into my hand, you see the way that goes into my hand, I get a big blister or a big, it does a number on my hand, open sores and everything from that spur. That's why on my 1911 here, I ended up putting that spur on there so I wouldn't have that issue. You know, the trigger's about 7 pounds on here. It's a little heavier, which you would probably expect out of a military grade pistol. The magazines it comes with, I believe, are the Mekar 8-shot magazines. Now, I've put all kinds of magazines in this thing. I have Colt magazines, and I have some GI contract magazines. I'm not sure who the manufacturer of them even was. I get numbers on them, as well as the ones that came with it. So I've had quite a few different magazines went through without a problem. You know, ammunition-wise, I pretty much only put ball through it. I think I've put majority of Black Hills 230 grain full metal jacket, and some of the SIG Elite ammunition as well, 230 grain full metal jacket. So those of you who aren't familiar with the 1911, you have some different safeties on here. You have a grip safety, so if that grip safety isn't pushed, you can pull the trigger, nothing's going to happen. You push the grip safety in, then it will fire. You also have a manual safety, which means you have to carry it cocked and locked. And this is a point of contention for me why I don't care for 1911s, is because this is not how I want to carry a pistol with the thing cocked and locked. This is also a military version. This is a military version of 1911, which means it's not like the Colt 80 series where there's no firing pin block. So the problem with the pistol not having a firing pin block, if you were to drop the pistol on the muzzle from about 5 feet, 4.5 feet, just the inertia from the firing pin going back is enough to set it off. And I can tell you this firsthand. I've had 2 cases in my career in forensics with this. We had a case where an individual was said to have taken shots at the police. So he was being charged with attempted murder of a police officer, when the reality was he dropped the pistol when he was running. When he dropped it onto the ground, it caused the firing pin inertia to set the cartridge off, and it fired. When the pistol came into me, I found out this is what the guy said. So what I did was I took an empty cartridge case that was just primed, put it in there, and I dropped it from different distances. And I was able, I believe it was 4.5 to 5 feet in an area in there, nearly 100% of the time I was able to have that duplicate with the safety engaged, with it cocked and locked, just from that firing pin. So the safety of carrying cocked and locked, especially without a firing pin safety, is just not safe. And then the other thing people will do is they will load their pistol, and then they will ride the hammer forward, which is not safe either, and put it at half cock. If that was to slip, it's going to go off. So just the safety aspect of this, I'm not fond of this design, for that purpose. And I'm also of the belief, an unloaded gun is useless. If you're never around in the chamber, what's the point in carrying it? Because the chances of you were to need a pistol for you to be able to pull it out, pull back and release and fire, you're not going to have that time. But again, that's my personal opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys who are 1911 fanatics who totally disagree, and that's fine. I respect your opinion. Hopefully you respect mine. So those are some of the issues that I have with the system itself. Single action pistols like this, that's just an issue. I mean, it's a mechanical issue. It's not an opinion. That's what happens with it. So for disassembly, this is like any other 1911. You push inward on your plunger. You rotate your barrel bushing. And you bring that out to your notch. You're going to push forward on your slide stop. Rotate on the bushing, locking link down, and here you go. Now looking here, you can see it's very good quality. You do see some tool marks, but not much. You have your ejector here. You also have your connector here. The pistol is fired. The slide comes back, pushes downward to enable it to cock back. Manual safety, as you see right here. That's really all there is to the frame. Now looking at the slide, very, very well machined. And as you can see, this is a standard GI type M1911. There is no firing pin safety. You see the locking recesses. And when you look at the barrel, you can see the locking recesses on the barrel. It pivots on the barrel link. This is another little point of contention with 1911s. These things often fall out. As you can see, the company that manufactured this put a little bit of a peening in there, so this link will not fall out, which was a very good idea. It's on both sides. So this pin's not gonna fall out. And you see basically your regular components. And like I said, if you were looking to start off with a 1911 and you wanted to just gradually make changes to it and put modern, some of the more modern match type components in there, you can do that. You can do one part at a time, a new mainspring at a time. The new trigger. The triggers. There are many, many different kinds of triggers that are adjustable. That you can adjust them down to probably under a pound if you wanted to. It's not particularly safe. I really wouldn't go below 4 pounds. And as far as a combat trigger is concerned, or one that you would carry, I would not go below 5 pounds. That's just my opinion on that as well. Just due to the fact that when somebody gets nervous, they tense up, and you don't want the thing to go off unintentionally. But the components are very well made. You could drop in any match barrel into here. You can tighten everything up like a match pistol. This is a good, accurate barrel, but you could get yourself a custom national match barrel and throw it in there as well. You can also see a notch in here, which is a live cartridge indicator, so you can tell if there's a cartridge in the chamber, which is sort of unique. The regular Colts don't have that. The regular 1911s don't have that. So that's one modification that's been done from the original design. Show the reassembly process. You got to make sure that barrel link is down. Slide that in. Barrel bushing. It goes in on an angle forward. Then you rotate it all the way to the side. Your spring guide and recoil spring. Make sure your link is back. So when you slide slide onto the frame, you want to make sure your barrel link is down. Slide it onto the rail. And you look through to see the link. Now you take your slide stop, push it in, take it back to your knot, to the assembly notch. Forward. Slide forward. Put your safety on. Now you take your cap on the recoil spring, push it down, slide that over, and there you have it. Now, American Tactical offers this in 3 different models, of course. This is the standard GI. This is the 5-inch full-size 1911. They have a commander and they have an officer's model. So they do have 3 different versions. They also offer various types of match models that have all the bells and whistles on them. But for me, I tend to like just the stock military one. And again, for anybody who wants a standard military grade 1911, this is an excellent pistol for that. It's a good plinker, and it's a good baseline. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing out to the range and we're going to see how it shoots. Well, there's no question the M1911 is America's gun. It is still probably one of the most favorite pistols amongst the commercial market. As far as military market is concerned, this pistol's been done for quite some time. But in the commercial lens, it's still very, very popular. We definitely have a affordable version of the 1911 at $400. So anybody can get started into the 1911, frenzy, if you'd like to call it, who like 1911s. And then eventually you can build it into one of the more customized type pistols where you have the custom fit slide to frame, the match grade trigger, the spur, national match barrel. You can go from this to this, relatively easily or over time, as you want to. The pistol is very, very well made. From everything I've shot through them, the thing is shot perfect. So, take a look at these. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment and I'll try and get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share. Thank you.